Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want to have your own rights if you are accused of being a terrorist? I'll talk about that later. Before, this is our main arguments as why we support that there should be laws or rights protecting the terrorists. It is a matter of dignity, but it's hitting back such important when this dignity costs thousands, even millions of lives, have been be guided by professional people, and these professional people will help and guide them during the construction and make sure nothing goes wrong. This way, their second argument does not actually make a lot of sense. Then the second opposition speaker also mentioned why this is a short-term project, and there is not enough time and resource. Now, firstly, onto the resources. It does not take a nationwide effort and resource to build, let's say, a hospital and hotel. It only takes brick, concrete, properly the fundamental building materials, and then again, as I have provided an example of the Chinese building a hospital within 10 days through the pandemic. That democracy should not overrule human rights. The rights to speech, especially in a state-funded academic institution, the fundamental human rights of speech there should be protected. Firstly, one thing to point out, these people who are entering the game has to be desperately into debt. And we're not talking about small amount of money. These are huge money that make people lose hope over life. Under these circumstances, there is no other way to gather these amount of money. And the chance of winning a lottery might be even smaller, since it is purely luck-based instead of skill-based. And then again, the whole point of the Squid Game is to give these desperately and pathetically poor people a chance to regain their normal life. So for these reasons above, and we have reclaimed our stance that we provide beneficial for the individuals. So for these reasons above, we're never so proud to propose. Thank you. So what my opponents have been saying for this entire long speech is that, it's unfair. We need to let every country operate on the same basis, on the same premise. Actually, it is this supposedly fair rules that make everything unfair. So my opponents have ignored the simple historic fact, that every country starts differently. Let's take a look. There are basically two types of countries. So what they have responded to my POI is basically big tech companies have zero incentive to move toward other field, which is a clear lie. So why is this basically untrue? As that big technologies are doing very, very well in their field, they have actually nowhere else to expand in their field. Let's say, does Apple have a very big expanding space in its own iPhone or hardware space? No. It has to move on toward other technology fields. This can look like in form of vehicles whatsoever, like Amazon. In Amazon, this is already happening. Amazon is now focusing and competing with Apple in devices. It's competing with Tesla in form of vehicles. So competition in other fields other than the company's own field where it's excelling is already happening. This is the mass scale trend that will be happening global-wide. There'll be this huge switch. We'll be generating a new round of views that'll be hard to communicate, that'll be antisocial, or to interact or cooperate with other human beings. Now I'll take that view.